This. So I welcome you all to IMP-X Episode 5 in association with Melbourne Mama. They're going to be the ones who are going to be shooting all of it. So let's start with today's panel. Some very interesting people in the panel. Points like this, information like this that you don't really readily get on internet are the things that I want to cover today. So bringing up on stage the first panelist, happens to be a childhood friend of mine, happens to be the founder of Nawab Gang, composer, producer, lyricist, Inka? Uh, co-founder of IMP as well. Please, I welcome him on stage, Asura, aka Pramod. Thank you so much. All right. And the second panelist, maybe not a lot of people know, but she is quite popular. She's an artist manager. She's a music curator. And also I found out a year back that she happens to be my childhood friend also. Welcoming on stage, Vidya. Thank you so much, Vidya. And the next panelist, yes, many people have seen this person on stage multiple times, but I don't think he's spoken on stage. I haven't seen him speak on stage at all, but I would love to hear his voice today. Bringing up on stage one of the greatest lead guitarists of Hyderabad, Baidurjya Banerjee. And last but not the least, a very prominent artist. A lot of people know her. A lot of people have been seeing her since our childhoods. Bring up on stage, not a lot of, we're all like same age, so yeah. So bring up on stage, not a lot of introduction required. Damini Bhatla, please join us. Louder, guys, louder. This is Damini Bhatla we're talking about. All right, so again, thank you so much, all of you, for joining us on this panel. This is the first time IMP is doing something like this, and to lay the foundation, to lay a little bit of foundation, we've seen the video of independent music. I would like to also know what your expression of independent music is. Yes, we understood that it is own composition. It is something that you are doing it by yourself. But if anyone want to chime in, Damini, if you want to chime in, what is independent music for you?
It is to release your own piece of music without any labels support or not affiliated to any movie or any short film or any content, OTT content. And that is your piece of music. You have rights over it. That is independent music for me. You're the boss. So yeah.
Owner of your own tracks, basically, keeping that in mind. And boy, you want to share something?
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Thanks for having me. I feel independent music is more of like a study that you do in a subject, and you, over the years, you nurture it, you do finish, and you finally get the time out to put in your money, soul, and all your connections, contacts, networking that you've done so far, and put it out in the market, hoping that it reaches to all audience. That includes the ones that has resources, the one that doesn't have resources. Something of that blend for me, I think, is in independent music.
Oh, quite interesting. I mean, quite interesting how you put the studies part of it, because that is how you learn and improve and want to express. Vidya, would you like to go?
I think I'll give you audience and maybe a curator perspective. For me, independent music is where I think of the artist when I listen to the song. Because for a film song, if I listen to a song, let's say from Pushpa, it's an Allu Arjun song. I'm not thinking of the artist at all. But when I'm listening to an independent artist, irrespective of whether it comes from a label or doesn't come from a label, they've released it. As an audience, I don't get into the details, right? But when I listen to this, like when I listen to a Damini song, it is a Damini song for me. I don't like, she could cast somebody else in the video, but for me, it's a Damini song. So for me, I feel that is independent music. Identifying it with the artist themselves.
Right. Quite interesting. Identity being also, and how well she's spoken about, and how easily we take it when we look at a film song. Like she said, we look at Allu Arjun dancing, and we're like, that's Allu Arjun's song. But that's not the truth at all. That's very far from truth. So thank you for that. And Pramod.
For me, independent music is everything that they told, like it's non-film music and also not signed by any label or something like that. But for me, it's more like it's a freedom for artists where they can do what exactly they want to express. If you do it for a film or a label, they always ask you to get it like this, get it like that, ye karo, wo karo. But I feel it is totally being independent, artistically at the same time. You own the rights, everything all the things that the panel told.
Right.
That's what independent music is for me. It's freedom of expression.
So creative freedom, in short, basically, where you are not drawn any boundaries. No one is coming and telling you that song should sound like this. The song should, have so and so lyrics or whatever it is. It's basically the phase that you're going in and what you feel you're expressing.
Of course, yeah, 100%.
Okay, perfect. So before we jump into the independent music at its core, most of you have also been in the industry, the music industry, right? So Damini, actually, I want to start from you. So when we talk about the music industry, you especially have started, I'm guessing you started the career from music industry. You started by winning Saregamapa, Little Champs. You've had so many accolades. So what does the music industry employ you for? Like, what are the services that you give for the music industry?
Oh, all right. So I'll tell you from my own experience. I started as a child artist. I mean, child singer, Little Champs, and then Paadta Tiyaga, and then one day I was ready. We thought we were ready to. Me and my sister thought we were ready to go to a music director and start working for the films. It's okay. TV ho gaya. Like the small screen is done. Now let's go to the big screen. Let me be the voice of the big screen. So, and then we gave demos. And the moment you start working with a music director in the film industry, you have to sing chorus. You have to. Sometimes I even wrote introduction raps for hero. When hero is coming, he's like, "Vadu fire, rutanana thin." I used to write all of those also. So a little ghost writing is also involved. And and then you start singing the blueprints, which are the tracks, which are the cues of a song. And then finally, one big singer comes and she dubs on it. Luckily, so many big singers dubbed, but the director liked my song. So that is Pachabotesna, and I'm here because of that song. So that's how, so the services would be chorus, ghost writing, coming up with a melody, coordinating with the all singers, doing solo alaps, for the score, singing the blueprints of a song. These are all the services. And once you've become a very good singer and you get your own song, then you're also expected to perform with the music director. That comes in the later stage. But ikkada varaku aithe what we do. Yes.
That's great. But one thing that I want to ask you a follow-up, because you said about Pachabottu. How much of Bahubali's song do you give credit for? Because I believe many of my relatives, when I just talk about, I know Damini, he's like, hey, Bahubali singer, right? So I want to ask you, how much of credit do you want to actually give for this particular song?
Honestly, a lot of credit. I mean, more than 70%, because that was my entry point into the industry, and that's how I got to. I was I'm recognized as a singer in the whole Telugu states, and also in Tamil because I sang the Tamil version of Bahubali also. But it's just the entry point. You need to prove yourself. You need to get your own songs, or you really have to realize ki this is not like film music okkate gaadu. There is independent music also. That I realized in COVID because movies stopped, movies got tanked because of COVID. Nothing was moving forward. What do you do? Like, what else will you do? You have to come up with your own music. So I did that. Yeah.
Right. Quite awesome. So you have a path that started from the industry, but you're going to indie. But you, especially Pramod, who started from very hardcore indie. I remember we used to talk a lot about independent music and all of this. And then after that, you started getting opportunities from industry, and then you stopped meeting me. So I want to ask you your process. How much of that industry work is happening for you, and what are the things that they are taking you for today?
So start stop initially it was just a track where you just have to sing their lyrics. So starting I don't rap someone else's lyrics. So I started insisting them that I'll write it. Even though you gave the lyrics, I'll give me half an hour. I'll write something. If you don't vibe with it, cool. I'll go sing that. From that place, we slowly started telling them this is our flavor. Your musician might not get that right, so let us do it because we've been doing this since a very long time. So hip hop is something that we can make it like that. So slowly from there to composing 2 to 3 tracks for the film. To now recently we started working, taking the whole film where we do the background music, lyrics, songs, different flavors of songs. So now we are capable to do the whole music production for the film, and we added that extra thing to the Nawab Gang. Initially, Nawab Gang is just basically proper 100% hip hop thing, and slowly we thought Ricky B is the producer of Nawab Gang. He has. So why to limit him for only hip hop? Balte
So from both of you, it's more towards. Even the prime part. As much as you've opened up your domain, people ask you as vocalists. People ask you as or for writing skills especially. But boy, you have also done many projects in films. Not a lot of people would know about this. I don't know where the credits would fall for you because when we talk about typical industry, even in the industry or even there is probably a certain bias towards singers, right? There is a face. You want the face. You want the character. You want what the face is doing on Instagram and the scandals and all of that. That is how, but you have done many compositions. How does your process go into industry? How exactly do people come and ask you for it? Shed us a little light on that.
So for an instrumental player, it's a very different ballgame altogether. At the current time of what we are at, we are basically sample producers. So we are hired basically to replicate a sample which is already done by a MIDI or a computer generated or AI generated, and we get to track the same thing. No such tracking is done over the whole day, a period of a month, and everything, to a point where eventually 5 years down the line, a music director or a producer will have actually live loop banks of their own, which they have recorded over the years. And they can use that to make films. So ideally for us, it's first of all, you should first as an instrumental player play for everyone and anyone, okay? To come on the part of any director or producer or somebody like a music coordinator to refer you. And once you go, cut the industry, see, the demand is not about great players. It's about people who can understand and follow orders. So, if you're a great musician, you might be the best of the best, the cream crowd, whatever you want to call it. But when you're going and doing the job, it's a job of somebody who's learning the instruments for, let's just say, 2 years, say. They can pull off the same job. But, directors also work in a way, like how for vocalists, when they get hired, it's part of their singing, part of their name, part of their social media. Now, so much game is there, right? So in the musician circle also, it's nowadays going to that point, If I hire, for example, and you play in Bombay industry as well as South industry, and if I shared that story that, hey, I've played in so and so movie in South, my Bombay friends will know about it, and they might hire the director and get it done. So musician is a very cross branding slash sample maker slash, we're basically like we treat as a worker. And the funny part is the word music director is very misunderstood. So it's not that the person who writes, composes, directs a team. His job is to come on to the place where the bunch of like all of these guys are musicians, recording for a film, and he'll be like, "Kuch hat ke bajao," kuch flavor love. So they also don't know the grammar, right? To interact with another person, maybe music, studies, language, grammar is a very important thing. How do I communicate to you? How do you understand? Such people don't know because they didn't do the study part so much. They had their own story, so they started working, and on that process you learn. But for musicians, when you come straight up to work, there's no time for you to learn anymore. You can only do finesse. So the whole demand between a great musician, to good musician, and cream musician in the country very much differs on who's done the part and then walked in, who's learning on the process, who's a refer. So it's a very different ball game altogether. When you walk inside that industry, it is mind-boggling because you will come from a different school of thought saying, hey, such name has hired me and you're top of the world, and you go there and you're like, that guy's just sitting there asking me to do your thing. And you don't know what thing. So the whole day you might be tracking for one particular song which never might come out also. Never might go to the demo singer only. But we are creating samples all day, all night. And after a period of a year, only ting is what you hear in the movie from us. Wow. So yeah, that's how it works for us. So,
Yeah. Wow. This is exactly what I meant by not having information on internet. This is the live experience, and this is also very new for me on how you've treated. But Vidya, so now she's gonna feel shy about this, but let me tell you guys, today if Hyderabad has this live band culture, she's in the center of it. Okay. Yeah, I mean, no, not definitely. You are not responsible for what's happening in 2024. But we're talking about 2016 here, guys. 2016, 2015, where there's usually just Bollywood stuff. There's just one hard rock cafe there. There's just English music. Someone took that stand saying that why is there not Telugu music played in band style? And just a little, please shed us a light about how back then it was, how Hyderabad's live music culture was, and how that initial days of you working with a couple of bands and putting that format. Again, I'm not giving you credit for what's happening right now, but back then,
Yeah, yes, I am that old. And coming to the live scene aspect of it, credit where it's due. I think the Telugu music was being played in one club, which is Moonshine, on Wednesdays. And I think there were a couple of them, Krishnan, Ganeshan, and these guys were already there playing Telugu music, more like an experimental thing. And the band I managed was Capriccio in 2016. I think Capriccio started off making these really beautiful mashups that went very famous on Facebook, right? So I was a radio jockey then, so I invited them to my show and we had like this interview and everything, and I was just like, what do you guys do? Like, where do you perform? And we perform in this cafe and we perform in this coffee shop and everything. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's nice. And why doesn't this go to the club scene, right? Because there are clubs that are playing live bands. There are a lot of Bollywood songs going on, and a huge, English scene was going on. Like, I remember we had this weird culture called day parties. I don't know if any of you are old enough for this, but when we were in college, Hyderabad used to party from 12 noon to 8 p.m.
Cubana, the club Cubana inside GVK.
Almost, Cuba Libre was there,
Cuba Libre
almost all clubs had this very weird culture, but only English music was played all through. right? And I was like, no, but I am full Tollywood man. Like I'm full Telugu person. So I'm like, I want to listen to Telugu music when I go to a club or when I'm like sitting at a place and I'm having dinner. So Moonshine was already like doing this Varnam Wednesdays, right? So we spoke to Moonshine, and Kepishu was like, the whole band was really young. People were just coming out of Parthatyaga, and it was just like starting out, and all these guys were just finishing college. So we were like, give it a shot, and then Moonshine happened, and then I think eventually Tabula Rasa happened. They opened up, they were like, okay, let's play this on a Tuesday, on a Wednesday, because it's experimental. And let me tell you, there were clubs, there were shows where there were 2 tables, and both were one me and other was my friends. There were shows that we did, and I remember there was a Hindi band, they're still there. I don't want to take the name. I remember going to their show as a band once and thinking, Telugu bands ki kuda inta mandi vaste baaguntundi kada. That was what we thought was something that won't happen. And cut to 2024, sold out shows and innumerable bands in the city. That's how the journey went. I really wish it took a different direction.
Damini, this is to you, basically. So, because we established this thing about Telugu music, Telugu culture, and the live band culture, I want you to give us your experience, because definitely your cover shows are one thing, your indie shows are one thing. Your cover shows are like sold out to another level, and your indie shows, we're still sort of in a struggling phase. So how does your process work? Like, how do you take up live music opportunities as and when it comes?
So last year I was doing cover music. I had a name to my band called Damini's Ensemble, and then he was part of it, and a couple of musicians. We did covers, and we had really different arrangements of what we think. I wanted to give a different sound to the cover songs which are already being played. What I observed was almost all the bands sounded similar to me. Like it's the same mashup, same set of songs. So we were like, hey, let's do something different. And then we did. And then slowly we introduced, 2 indie songs in between. So there was Solitude Tales, and there was one more song. I think Premaleka was just very recently, but there was one more song which I played. The two indie songs. In full 2-hour set list, I had only 2 indie songs. And then later, what I realized was and then I started doing indie sets only, like So Far Sounds, IMP, and a couple of other, music organizers. They wanted me to play singer-songwriter, small acoustic sets. When I was on the stage, I got equal response for both of them. Like I could pull off both of them effortlessly. Not trying to sound like, oh, I do it all. But yeah, yes, that's how I do it. And then later I realized, okay, now to not confuse my audience on Instagram and all my followers, they should know what they're coming for. I will stop playing cover music, and then I will only do original sets. And this year, I did 7 original sets. And it's not easy for a Telugu indie artist, especially coming from Hyderabad, and what I realized was, imagine I'm going with boy and a couple of familiar faces, and then I say, hey, come to my gig. They will come, they will expect Pachabotesna, Blast Baby, and all of those. But if I only do my indie set, they'll be like, no, we came that day for the commercial set. Why are you doing indie today? So that's a confusion, right? So either I do cover songs with a completely new band, or I want to be featured with Meraki, or I want to get featured with another band, because the faces are different. But when it is my set, I want a set of familiar faces, so it differentiates me from my cover set, and my indie set. That's how I've designed it now. And moving forward, I really want to do only my indie music. I mean, anta catalog ravali, where I can just pull like 2 hour set list. But that's the dream, that's the vision. Yeah.
Yeah. Coming to Boy, for me, you are firstly you're everywhere, man. Okay, you perform with Damini, you perform with Hemachandra, you perform with PK, you perform with Priyanka. You are in what, another 18 bands?
I have lost the count, but somewhere near it.
Somewhere near 18. Somewhere near 18. I mean, first things first, I want to ask you is that how the hell do you remember all of this stuff? How do you remember those compositions and arrangements and
Well, this is actually pretty interesting. So there's a hack to it. At the time where we are at, 80% music sounds the same. It's the same melody in different combination, right? The start is same, the ending is same. The feel of the track is also same. Like, in music we have the best note and the second best note. It's the same. So language at this point really doesn't matter. Like I play from north, south, east to west, from biggest of the biggest directors to the smallest of the smallest artists, all categories. And I realize in this whole journey, it's just those 4 songs, usi format mein hai, usi way mein hai. Because people are now writing on trends. I'll write this whole 1-minute track. So you see the songs have started decreasing. Like I am from that part where I used to listen to Dream Theater 16-minute songs, 3 minutes guitar solos. I'm from that part, okay? And now you have the whole song wraps up in 2 minutes, right? And what more can you do in 2 minutes apart from changing the language? Right? And every 10 kilometers or 20 kilometers, in India, like the food changes, the language changes, everything. But the way we resonate with one another, it's kind of the same. Hence, the music that comes out is so similar that as an artist like me who does session to play for bands, also be part of writing and composing along with them, it's a really simple hack and people really get scared to take that step. But if they do, I think it's the best time in India to be a musician. Like no other, like it's right there. The doors are open. You just have to walk in, do it, the same formula. There's nothing changes.
Yeah, that's damn amazing. Please give it up for Baidurjya, guys. One thing that I would like to say is he's, I think, performed in all the stages in India. I don't think any festival or any venue is left in the whole country. And you open, please follow Baidurjya as well, guys, because I even love the sort of are usually the Megadeth and all the other covers that you hit. It's so at ease, but not a lot of people see how you see, like how you just said that everything sounds the same for you. I'm a very big enthusiast of so many genres and I barely see any, mishaps that happen to you. I think your answer to this question should be, nah, I'm that fucking good. Like, I'm legit that fucking good. So that is...
There's one small key as a musician that if you follow, it does wonders. That is, you can't give your sound everywhere. You should know that you're playing for an artist, that artist has a sound. So what not to play is the main key of this game. And that's how you stand out. Because you have great players, like greatest of the greatest players endorsing the biggest brands in music are from India. But the way they are segregated, differentiated is only because they know what not to play. If I play for Amit Trivedi and if I play for Rahman and it's in the same night and the band is same, which is almost the case right now. Like any big people you go to their concert, it's the same band. Same bassist, same guitarist, same everybody. But you see, they sound so different. And the reason they get picked up, hired and noticed is because they follow the ethics of I know what to play and what not to play. And I'm playing for that certain artist. I'm not playing my show. And you will get a time in a 3-hour concert. Like I've been fortunate and unfortunate in both, you can say. I've played 5 or 30 minutes to 6 hours concert across the globe. Like tours where we're doing 6-hour shows one day. And you know what you realize at the end of the day, if you can hold yourself, you'll get the limelight. You'll get that 1 minute, to steal the thunder and do your thing. And that's all is needed for you, because you never know who's sitting in the crowd. Can be the best of the best curator to the best of the best director. Who listens to that 1 minute and picks you up? That worked for me. So I think people, if they wait out for their time and don't rush, good things come for sure.
That is Damn wise, man. That is fucking amazing. To you, Pramod, because you're also a live performer. You've also done. I think you've done over 100 tracks right now. Because in the past, when he was just starting out, this is year 2020, around 2019, 2020, 2021. Every visit I used to go to his place, he would make me listen to a new song, and I'm like, when the hell did you do this? You were hanging out with me just yesterday. So he's one of those guys where I'll play around with my friends until the exam night, but exam night is songs. You've done so many live shows, and one thing that I want to ask you is, you've done Yuddham, you've done Batkudama, you've written songs on patriarchy, you've written songs on social injustices, you've written songs on the political aspect. But the song that got most popular of you is Nenu Tagite. So I want to understand, that was not decided. You didn't know that that song was going to become so viral that the reels that are formed on that song became more famous than the actual reel
Yeah,
itself.
of course.
So
That's like, I feel bad for it.
so that's what. So when you stumbled upon that kind of success, let me just say it, success. What changed? Like did something change inside you? Did something say that, the cover song actually worked? Or just tell me one of your opinions. What exactly happened?
So basically, things work totally different for us. Like we don't have familiar music or familiar faces. So we took a way where we wanna make our songs familiar a bit. So you have to make tracks like you have to reach that point where people recognize you and they want to come to your show for the music. I can't just go ask like yes or no, listen to this and stuff like that. But yeah, it's a process. Like I didn't specially make Nenu Puttanu for like Adi Jayega Bahar or something like that. But when I made the track, I heard it for almost like 90 times just for the flow. I like the flow, like and basically like we didn't realize like she was a part of it. She who like put us on to the whole like making those like retro rewinds for number one Yari, and then like which took almost like 3-4 years. They kept it in the box. I mean
It's still in the box, right?
a lot more in the box, of course. Like we made 10 tracks like that. So one got out, two got out. We never know which song will like reach that like జనాలు ఏది రిలేట్ చేసుకుంటారో we never know, because like ఆ పర్టికులర్ వరల్డ్ మొత్తంలో ఏం జరుగుతుందో దాన్ని బట్టి or like వాళ్ళ లోకల్లో ఏం జరుగుతుందో it acts on them. Like it's a trend which is going on. So that's why most of the people who make songs for the trend goes up, because it is familiar to them. Why the old songs didn't do well? Because like we don't know how to make content back then. So I believe that like today things are like how big you are is how big you seem. So you have to make it look like it's a grand thing. Then people will, of course. I mean, I've seen audience like you asked, like I only sometimes I only perform few songs where those are not Yuddham or none of the intense tracks. If it is a club, they వాళ్ళు వచ్చేది ఒక డిఫరెంట్ వైబ్ కోసం. దే డోంట్ వాంట్ టు లిసన్ టు లైక్ యూ స్కూలింగ్ దమ్ లైక్ తాగేసి అట్లా చేస్తావు, వాట్ ఇస్ దిస్, ఐ కాంట్ డూ దట్. సో యూ హ్యావ్ టు read the room and then play based on that like what vibe they are in, and then we play those kind of tracks. So difference majorly is sometimes you like feel this is not the best work that I did, but it went out like previously that happened with Sigguledu, which wasn't supposed to be in my album, but like that is the most heard track after Yuddham from the album. So you just create and then just like build the buzz around it, build the hype. So of course like live shows will find you, because like if you're hard popping then people want you.
As a musician, because now you're a full-time musician, which to be very honest, not a lot of people can claim. They have many artists that I have worked with also. They all have a day job, then they're musicians by night, right? But you have a full-time a job of a musician. So if a kid comes and asks you, what does a musician's life looks like, or how do you build that career basically? How would you answer that?
It's a tough one. See, musicians like life looks amazing, killer. That what even worked for me. Like when I was a kid, I saw my seniors in school or my favorite bands, touring on a tour bus, going to city after city, not sleeping for 4 days, and also selling out shows like 10,000 crowd. That whole world looks really amazing, and it is really amazing too. When on the part when somebody wants to get into something, for me, see, I come from a Bengali family, and as a Bengali, childhood, say you're either put into music, dance, drama. It's like a couple of staple things. So we have that rhythm and music in our body, and we end up finishing ones. Like I learned Indian classical singing. I can't sing at all, right? I'm sure like they're my friends. They haven't even heard me singing. Okay, but that whole knowledge kind of worked out because it's the same dialect. If I put music as a dialect, I'm just putting it out from my guitar. He's doing it as rap. She's singing it. But we are all instruments. So, that really helped me. For a kid, I would say, go and learn something. Learn an instrument properly. I always wanted to go to a music college for, higher studies and just to get that exposure, networking. Because tomorrow when our time is going to come, it's going to be with our friends only who's graduated in big colleges and everything from music. So I ideally would suggest somebody, learn the craft, because when you step in, it's such a busy world and there are 100 people online. Like you are replaceable like this. And that's the fun about it. Every day it's like a challenge. You're never the best. You only end the night being the best and you wake up again from ground zero because you're again in the line, giving auditions, doing 100 takes, out of which one comes out. And you only get to know, like for singers, this is actually big. Like they only get to know they are part of the song when the song comes out. Right. So I would suggest people to learn music, make friends. I think making friends in music is the biggest key to getting yourself hired by anyone and everyone. One day I'll keep my guitar and go up and say, hey, I keep singing for 100 shows, what's up? And then they'll say, hey, I'm a music director or I am a... And that is a bigger impact than you pitching your profile over a gram, email or anything. Because if you show up, they will show up. And the word spreads, you putting up one information on your story or your WhatsApp, or it works. It worked for me. So if a young kid comes, make as much friends as you can. Because you'll make mistakes, you'll understand, you know what not to do. And on the bright side, you'll definitely get hired.
Man, you are killing it with the answers. Make friends. That is something I don't think I would have expected.
Like that,
I wouldn't have expected at all. This is really cool. Vidya, regarding music careers, basically, at the end of the day, living needs to be made. Like your bills need to be met. Absolutely. So usually when I look at technology, or now that the IMP app is out, I look at the technology, everyone around is just making distribution.
Yeah.
Right. So what I have realized, what I've seen is the benefits that you get out of the streaming platforms is somewhere like down the line. And I believe in sort of a live music career, because no matter what, the most minimum that you might get is 5,000 for the night. And in that 5,000, 1 hour, 5,000 is great. I mean, to start with, it's really great. That 5,000 coming in from distribution is quite difficult. So how do you take that? Like, where do you see this sort of earnings to be, coming for the musicians? So in order for them to go back and say to their parents that I am making a living now.
So I think the point you said about live music, I think the artist should always be live music friendly. Like they should center the fact that live music is going to be my main source, because you're not going to reach the audience like you will in a live show, even if you're streaming it. Because let's face it, even if the streaming apps, if at all, because it's a huge conglomerate, there are several decisions behind it. The streaming apps decide to pay you more. How do you get discovered, right? How do people know they have to go to your profile and like listen to you, or you get playlisted and then they find you and all of it? It is through your live shows. It is when you get now socials also, but social media and live performances are your main. Social media to drive audience to your live performances. Simple example now being Hanuman Kind. We know how his shows were earlier, now how they are. He's in Coachella this year, next year. So live is the main source of income for every artist. That is, whether we like it, we don't like it, that is the truth.
Very
Right?
beautifully put. Another accolade that I would like to mention about Vidya is she is also the founder of Mic-less with Miraki. If you've heard of that, her last show was sold out for 3,000 people have shown up.
2,500.
2,500. That's quite amazing. Like to pull 2,500 is not at all a joke, and to pull in a venue that doesn't serve alcohol, that's another huge thing. I mean, you are also very successful in terms of that. So, in terms of that live music itself, like how do you look at the artists who you want to put on stage? Basically, like where is that sweet spot that artists need to get recognized, and we need to look at those artists basically.
So for me, Mic-less, when it started, for people who don't know, it is a group karaoke event where the band plays on stage, but there's no singer because audience sing. So the last show we had was 2,500 people singing together in Shilpakala Vedika. The whole idea behind it was mainly two things. One, promote Meraki, right? My entire idea of starting Mic-less was, we're a new band. How do we stand out from the rest of them? And how are we reaching a crowd that doesn't go to clubs? Because all the cover bands are in clubs. Not all of Hyderabad is drinking, right? So how do you reach people who are not drinking? If you're just going to play in a place like this, people are not going to come. Kids, yeah. So it's a non-alcoholic place. You can come with your family. We had 80-year-olds in our show. And when now the second part of what I want to do with Mic-less, which we've slowly started, is to start putting independent artists on stage where all the audience who are coming to come have fun, sing covers, are forced to listen to independent music. You don't have an option. You have a break, you have to listen to independent music. So we've started that already by playing independent music before the show and all of that. But eventually, when we sort out our entire, just so many issues with Hyderabad live scene, you know that. So once we sort out all the issues, in the break, we definitely want to leave 2 songs for 2 independent artists to come and either release this song, promote this song, because they will have an audience of 2,000 ready, right? And what is the filter for this? I don't have a filter for independent music, especially if it's Telugu. I am extremely Telugu, like I said. So if a Telugu singer is coming and saying, Vidya, play my song in Mic-less, it is done. That's it. Please. Yes, and I just wanted to add a point to what, we were talking about the music career thingy. Everybody here and people in music and you learning music need not always end up in you being a singer. I'm a classically trained singer. I've learned Carnatic for 10 years. I'm still in classes. But I utilize that for my artist management, for my curation. And even for being an artist manager, you need to know music. You can't, the dearth of artist managers in Hyderabad is just insane. I think we're the city with the highest number of bands and 4 managers, I think.
No representation
So,
whatsoever, yeah.
And it's so important for the manager to understand music, to know music, because how else are you going to understand what your artist is doing? So if you know music, don't think you should just be a musician. You can be a lot more. So think of careers that way as well.
Yeah, really excellent. Another thing about how I wanted to leverage artists is I come from a very tech background. I come from management consulting background. I have designed products. I have done solution architecturing and all of that. So Pramod and I go way back before even Nawab Gang was born, and he introduced me to independent music. By the way, one of the events I stumbled upon this show that he took me to, and all of these artists were talking their own language. I had no idea where this music was coming from, where is it, and very innocently I also went and asked, hey, which film song is this? And he's like, this is not a film, this is called indie. And that day it began, 8/8/21 is where we started designing a tech platform, how exactly can that help artists? So we started designing an artist profile, then slowly it built into an ecosystem, and slowly it built into something else, what it is right now. So regarding the IMP app and our idea about, positioning ourselves in the market, especially in terms of, getting more exposure, because we have seen, even for the IMP app or many clients that we work with, we've seen many artists try to go and say that, hey, please take me, please, choose me, put me on the stage. I'm an artist. I'm this. But we don't get a lot of real content on them, especially if you're a cover band. We don't get any content because all we get is Instagram reels, and all we were getting was Instagram profiles and your followers and what is the traction rate and all of this. And we have faced difficulty in trying to curate anything of that. So we started doing this IMP app profile where it shares the whole information about the artist, the content in a way how clients want it. So I want to basically ask you, not just from the IMP app perspective, but in terms of positioning yourself to get more opportunities, either live or either in terms of music production or in terms of, how it is important to position yourself as an artist.
అంటే అన్నిటికంటే ముందు ఆర్టిస్ట్ నీడ్స్ నాలెడ్జ్ ఐ మీన్ ఆఫ్ వాట్ లైక్ వేర్ దిస్ ఆల్ స్టార్టెడ్ వేర్ ఇస్ ద మ్యూజిక్ ఇండస్ట్రీ స్టార్టెడ్. So the first ever music that people heard is probably from lakes and things like that. And then slowly people want to replicate the sounds of that. And then slowly they made someone want to sing. So the first ever experience of humans to a live music is someone literally standing there and playing, because there is no records or there is no technology before. And slowly from there, someone invented you can record sound to a disc. It's called vinyl. And then slowly from there, someone put that onto cassettes. And then someone introduced MP3 format. They can compress the music into MP3 format. Then CDs came in because you can burn multiple songs into that. So from a band playing in one place, if they want to play if 100 people want to listen to it, they should be here. But slowly, when the records came, you can be in 100 houses at the same time, and the band can play 100 shows at the same time. Your performance of 2 hours, which is rendered onto the disc, is playing everywhere. That means you're playing in different houses. So from there, when internet came in, people started downloading the songs from the discs and they can send it over to different places. Napster did it. And then the initial days, musicians used to make a lot of money because I sell one CD for 100 rupees, it's 100 rupees for sure. If 1,000 people are buying it, that's
100 into 1,000. Okay.
Of course. So 1 lakh right away. But once it's gone, music industry went pagal, after when this internet thing came in. Akkadanchi, slowly streaming came in. How, you people don't own music, they can rent it out to listen to it. And then that's where the things got the money got little pennies. If I have 1,000 listens or 1 lakh plays, but I don't get 10,000 rupees or 20,000 rupees. It depends upon artists. If the major artist is doing good, the platforms or labels will directly go to that person because he's making the major buck. So when things are happening like this, when the whole music industry evolved to a place where now to listen to someone, there is a lot of music now, there is millions of songs which put on to streaming platform every year, probably. I think she might know the number probably. So how do you stand out? So if you see major labels, who are they signing? These people, a lot of people can make better music than them, but these people has some kind of personality which stands out. So if you build that for yourself, if there is a 100% authenticity, 100%, you build your brand, and then slowly, you are becoming totally different. Because previously you have to get into a label or you have to go into radios or something. Now you have so many platforms where you can show your skill. For example, there is this track called Doja by Central C. It's gone everywhere. And also recently, Hanuman Kind's track. So it's totally different. You can also stay at home, not meeting anyone. You can still make a career out of it. You can come out and do. There is multiple ways today. Like you build your brand, you build your hype, and then you make continuous songs. Like Russ is the best example because I only know rappers. Like I'm taking rappers example. Russ made his music sitting in a basement. He released one song every week for almost like 2 to 3 years. Now he's like there is a line by one of the greatest rapper who collaborated with him. Hey Russ, I used to listen to you on SoundCloud. Now you're flying in the jets. How the cloud sounds.
How does one position themselves in that live music sector?
Okay, I'm not going to talk from my perspective. I'll just let's take an example of XYZ, and he or she or they has just 125 followers on Instagram, and then they have 2 releases on Spotify and on all the digital streaming platforms with hardly monthly listeners. So what I would suggest them to do is go to the nearest, I mean, that putting aside the numbers and all, what you need to do is, if you know that you can pull off a nice 30-minute set, you need to be prepared. You have to do the grind. You have to be prepared for that 30-minute. Even if it is a 15-minute set list, you have to be prepared. Like, just don't go and just wing it and, just do it in the air. Practice, go to the nearest local cafes, go to community spaces. If you're a Carnatic artist, go to temples and do it. That's how I used to do it when I was a kid. Like, I used to do small kacheris at temples and stuff like that. So do whatever you have to do in that space, and then get a manager. You don't have to pay for your manager. Ask your friend to be your manager for the time being. Know what your big artists are doing, the artists you look up for, and try to do what they are doing. For example, like what they do is they release one song, and when they release one song, they perform it. I mean, they have to perform that live everywhere. You have to talk about it, shamelessly talk about it. On people's face, rub it. It's okay. Like, do it. And then you have to do an Instagram live. You need to have your social media calendar ready. So there are a lot of places you have to have checklists. And it's a weekly thing. It's a weekly check-in thing you need to have. Social media, do you have any performances lined up? Who are your audience? Know your target audience, know your demographics, and if your music is just a small venue, just a singer-songwriter thing, then go to cafes. Don't go to the nightclubs, because nightclubs is a different thing. Know your craft, and then just go cater to that spaces only. And that would be my advice. And then as you keep doing it, it's a grind. You need to keep doing it. You need to keep out your music, keep your music out there. Just don't hesitate, don't hold back. Just do what you have to do, and you will figure it out. You will automatically figure it out. And also talk to those artists who you look up to. Ask them ki, I want to do this, how can I approach, what do I do? And then we are very friendly. We will definitely say, like, I have so many artists who I recommended to get signed up with Spotify. I keep telling them, get signed up with IPRS. That's your IP. Get an IPI number. So nobody knows about IPRS. So all of this, get just acquainted, learn from the internet. There are so many things you can learn on the internet. So I think that's it. I've said a lot, but but that's it.
Wonderful on how you specifically said about grind, like really grind. I think one last point that I would like to add is the fact about, I think all of you will agree upon the fact that credibility is one big thing. Because right now anyone will come and say, I'm an artist, give me an opportunity. But credibility is that one thing that you have to organically grow. And that is the thing that, we try to design on the IMP platform. Your profile, I mean, whoever doesn't have it, please download it and check it out. Your profile will have your discography, your music video library, which is a YouTube video library, your past performances, your calendar, how many times, what all previously, where all you've performed, because that adds credibility. Then who are you, your social links. It's your interactive EPK that is a step one that we've done, where download it, use it, send it across to multiple people and keep populating it. And it is free of course, by the way. I'm not doing this for any subscriptions. There's no advertisements that I want to do on the app, and never will I do until unless I'm the founder. So I would like to end. I wish I can continue talking to you because it's crazy the kind of combination that we brought here. But I would leave because I promised, and we are really running out of time. But I want to leave 2 questions to audience if anyone has any questions to any of the panel members. Okay, cool. So they are here. What, you have a question now?
So, going by the books, the definition of artist means people who self-express their art. And we know there are a lot of musicians out there, not artists. So, what is the distinction? What is the distinction of how to be and produce new things and still keep the self-expression alive? For example, when you're making music for a movie, you're not self-expressing. You are doing a design that is goal-oriented, that's solution-oriented. How do you keep a distinction between working for other people and still having a self-expression there? Still being an artist? The panel.
Okay, I'll start off and I think then we can take it off. See, it's a thin line. And if you really want to do it, we're like robots, honestly. Robot is being the key. You should be like programmed where your mind has CDs, like when you're going into a studio, that's a different version of you. When you're going and writing music with your friends, it's a different version. And when you're doing your own stuff, it's a different version. So if you, as an artist, if you haven't clarity around it, then hey, you know what? Session ke liye, this is me. Iske liye, this is me. I think the authenticity you can keep. And also when you go and write and record for people, they aren't really looking at your authenticity. They're trying to use you to put what's in their mind because they can't do it. They can't play it, right? Because music just will come and say, ta 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 ta, and you have to just pick it up, track. You miss the track, somebody else is on the queue to come and do it, right? So if you know what exactly they want and what you are and where do you stand in the global scheme, then I think you can really keep that authenticity in the long term and not mix karke, and you won't have complaints saying, hey, you know what, I'm a session artist, I record for 100 films, but वो मेरा touch दे नहीं पा रहा. Authentic हो गए तो आपका touch आएगा, but you'll have that difference, you know. कि there's ethics for everything. Like, you know, office scrum meeting is different than office meeting with a manager and meeting with another bunch of 5 people and working. That's why I say, you know, if you want to become a full-time musician, please go to an office and work for 2 years and come out, because that will teach you so much ethics that you can fulfill in the place where you are trying to work and make music with, and people's life will be really easier. You know, you won't waste anyone's time. You'll know what should be your mindset to walk into a room, what to deliver, and how exactly to come out and feel, hey, it was a great day, and not be fatigued.
So over a period, people accept what you are. Like now if I go to a music director and they say, sir, I don't want to do that, maybe I'll do this because this suits my voice. Like I want to do a small raspy, बहुत बदनाम, I want to do that. I don't want to do बहुत बदनाम, I don't want to do that. Because I know what sounds good in my voice. I'll take permission though. I'll be like, sir, can I do instead of, I'll give you an option, sir. We'll put both of them. You use it whatever you want, you use it. But I'll give you so many options that you can choose from. So that's how you also connect with the person and be like, see, I'm giving you these many options. You can take whatever you want. You know, that's the sort of, you know, you can, yeah, that you can throw. You can be like, sir, you know what? I'll give you 5 options for this line. You can take whatever you want. But some people are so like, nah. Who are you to give me? Like, I mean, yeah, also there's a lot of air around some people. Don't try that with them. So yeah, it's just that.
All right. Again, it was a lovely first panel discussion with all of you. If you have any other questions, they're right here. Grab a hold of them and ask them your questions. Maybe you're a little shy asking in front of so many people. I know I am. Today, koncham siggu lekunda, we started. But again, thank you so much, all of you, for this wonderful. I hope we've received some great information from this panel. Again, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much, Vidya.